We have never invested in the expert and research. I would like to see amount of money go into the universities for the research alone. It is so through that we are able to get substantive things. Otherwise, if we leave it for these politicians, that is job they do. Their job is to politic all the time and look ways on how to get themselves rich. So we'll never get it right. So we must reward skills or brain. Let us reward education well. Let us not reward mediocrity, and that is what we've been doing. So I hope moving forward we are able to reward brain, in quote. People who have brain should be rewarded highly, so that we are not led by crooks. We are led by people who can implement good policies. So, PP, that's what I can say for now.
Asante sana Academia for that. That submission gets us to 4 minutes past 7 East African. Second last hour of the show starts right now. Let's go. Chatuachilie hizi inaitwa jingle jamani. Hey.
You are listening to Home Run with Pipi. Weekdays from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m.
Kwani audience yangu ni ya watu wazee na watu wenye hawaendi college, kwa sababu sijasikia hata mtoto mmoja wa university hapa akikuja aseme Pipita, this is the situation in our colleges. Nasikia Japonja akiongelea barabara hapa na deal na watu wa familia. Mostly unasikia mami, daddy.
Unajua PP unajua shida imekuwa wapi one anyway, mtu kama mimi sina familia, lakini you see like sina mtoto, so it's very difficult for me to engage myself in the CBC and all that. Sasa inakuanga ngumu, so yangu pia so we need these people who have a hands-on experience like the parents. I don't expect a CBC student to be talking to us, but I expect a college student to tell us what is going on. Because sometimes we need them. They can tell us. No, me, I left some years back college, and therefore I'm going back now to do other things. But I'm not going under university funding model on my own. And then we need this. So encourage comrades wakuje waseme hao wanaona aje. Sometimes comrades themselves do not even understand it. And then people like Japu, maybe teachers can tell us. Maybe I don't know because I'm not a teacher. And I don't have maybe pupil or children in primary, secondary, and college. So I may not be able to really tell what exactly is going on with this kind of thing, either CBC or... but from the general look part of it, we can say that we interact with those people, we live with them. We can say that it's not something sitting well with people. Yeah. So we need to find out the people directly involved in this. For us, we can be directly involved based that we are Kenyans and it's affecting our families one way or the other, but not directly like somebody, a comrade or somebody in the parent who is experiencing CPC one function. You know, some parents, they even have 3 or 2 people, 2 kids at the primary level or secondary. So they have the better experience to tell us what is going on better. So tafuta hao wakuje, ama Japonya naweza kuwa na wengine huko.
Hi, I see Omolo alikuwa na wave. Sijui kama Omolo is trying to tell us something. Omolo.
Okay, I really have heard academia, and for sure there are these primary schools, because junior is currently in primary. They are not even accessing laboratory. As a matter of fact, they are taught integrated science, where we have the 3 sciences, that is biology, chemistry, and physics. So you would find that even if your primary school has no sister secondary or high school, then you moving your children to laboratory becomes too difficult. Children can never even understand that we normally have biology, physics, and chemistry laboratories. You would find that you are going online, you search for how does a laboratory look like. You now want to show them in the picture, but they don't even step into it physically. It is good when you show somebody this is what really happens and they are able to see it physically happening. So that is the first thing we are losing this. We are losing this attack from the inception. We are just losing it. And then secondly, you find because it is becoming a junior, initially it was junior secondary school, children have those still in junior school, they normally interact with those from what? High school. They usually feel like downtrodden or they don't feel like they are in secondary because a majority of them have no lockers. When you are in a high school, you always put on like ladies will have a skirt and blouse. For gentlemen, we will have trousers and all those. So it usually like creating them like they don't even belong. They lack sense of belonging because their dressing code. When you are dressing like all the way from grade 1 all the way to grade 9, you are just dressing normally, while other schools in town are trying to blend the high school life into junior. You can't even compare yourself with them. So they are like, oh, from where we are, we can't even match with that school. And mark you, if exam is given, exam is going to be given to almost all the across whoever has been into the lab and whoever hasn't. And secondly, the funding, capitation of these materials is also a problem. For example, you walk to a school as the KICD is distributing books. For example, if you had a junior secondary school, grade 7 that started junior, wow, like 20, and the coming class next year is of 50 population, KICD is going to give you 20 books across. It is just moving with the first population. I don't know what the hell usually happens that they are confusing us by making students to be just permanent, the population to stand permanent. For example, in grade 7, you had 20. And then next year, those who are going to join grade 7, they are 50. So you're going to share these 20 textbooks that were used by the previous class of 20 to the ratio of 50. Now, do you really want to tell me there is some fairness when it comes to sharing of resources? There isn't. That is usually a thing that is of the past because they have these data. They usually have these data. And mark you, from the time you've heard that they have reduced lessons, the learning areas from 11 to 9, there is no single book that you will have with you to guide you that this is how you need to move. Even though there are those things that are calling designs, they are the designs that are guiding the teacher. But to a student, like this lesson you are moving in, let me talk of pre-technical studies. That is an area where we will have pre-technical study. We will also have computer and business. So the three merged together to be pre-technical studies. This lesson today, you will come in with a pre-technical textbook. Then the following day, you also have to update your children or your students that next time you bring in computer textbooks. Some of the books usually have hands-on things, key parts of a keyboard, numeric keys, all these, and in almost 90% of primary school, they don't have even access to computer laboratory. So you're only giving out raw things just like the previous 844. They don't even get access to these materials. So you would wonder, how do you just tell a student when this thing is drawn this way, this is a mouse. When it is drawn in the other way, this is a computer. This is a system unit. You'd really fail to grasp the concept that why are we just having computer study in this school, but we don't have even a single computer? They don't even access to this. Secondly, there was an outcry of science teachers. For example, somebody is teaching history Kiswahili. He's supposed to teach integrated science. He has no knowledge about, maybe there are some schools you find they're only doing 2 sciences or they only do 1 science. This teacher reads in the book that when you add an acid to a given a base or a commercial indicator, it should turn this way. But in the laboratory, when you move the students to the laboratory, they are very cheeky. Because once they see some coloration changing in here and there, you now fail to tell what is this actually they are mixing. You as what? A history Kiswahili teacher. So you now force them, ensure it is turning red. Ensure, even if they are seeing it green, you just force them to know that it must turn what? Red. You must tell them it is going to turn what? Orange. Such like a thing, now children would not even have trust in you. You got even to tell them what have you just mixed. If you have prior knowledge that when you mix this and this, you are going to have this coloration. So by you now sticking by the book, make sure when you add this to this, it is supposed to turn red. Now, why are you giving them something that they are supposed to see physically? You are forcing them to have it. If they don't have it, then you tell them they have done wrong. And maybe it could be the reactions that are even taking place. Maybe things were not even in good conditions and such like thing. So student will end up like losing trust in you. Now, when a science teacher comes in, now changing their perception that this was supposed to turn from here to here, now it becomes difficult. They are now too much complication. They are now like complicated completely. They will usually fail, surely. So if our first teacher who introduced us told us this should be turning this, but when you as a science teacher, when you follow the proper procedure, you find the good results rhyming with the book. Now children are like, huh? And why last time it was turning from here to here? Now you would rather, you just like feel like sorry for that teacher because you can't even, we are all, you all are what? Teachers, and you cannot even use that thing to blackmail your teacher that, he is weak in this area, so you just have to bear with the situation. You can't tell those teens such like a thing. They won't even believe that teacher anymore, even in his or her area of specialization. When she or he is teaching, they would like tell you, Mwalimu, last time you did practicals and things didn't go as good as today. You see, now that one now sounds as what? A demotivating factor to who? The current teacher. So those are some of the things that are happening on the ground. Back to you, PP.
It looks like the people are not seeing the microphones button.
Ladies and gentlemen, join Home Run with PP every weekday from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. only on X Spaces. Home Run with PP, the home of your most valuable social conversations.
Wacha niwachekelee kidogo, najua mmesahau mimi ni nini. Wacha niwakumbushe kwanza.
Mimi ni bachelor boy, nitaoa kutoka wapi?
Yeah.
Na siku sasa zinapita, lo, ireraena.
Haya, sawa. So nilikuwa nawaambia kwamba mimi mambo ya school fees hainisumbui kwa sababu mimi ni bachelor boy. Mnanichekeleanga hapa nikiwaambia kateni mic niende nipike. Sasa mnaona mimi napika tu, nyinyi mnalipa school fees. Nani anateseka sahi? Hey, yeah, I want to listen to you as well on your thoughts as a parent. Wala watu wanalipa school fees. I know kuna watu wenye kwa diaspora pia wanalipa pesa. Najua mnataka kujua quality education ikoaje Kenya. So this is also a good time for us to speak about it. But nashukuru Mungu mimi vitu kama hizo mia zinisumbue. Wacha tu tena niwakumbushe ni nini ilifanyika.
Mimi ni bachelor boy, nitaoa kutoka wapi? Na siku sasa zinapita, lo ireraena.
Hapo sasa.
Ladies and gentlemen, join Home Run with PP every weekday from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. only on X Spaces. Home Run with PP, the home of your most valuable social conversations.
Yeah, ndio maana nawaambia kama hii conversation ni ile tunajuana, ndio nawaongelea kama wazazi. But I have nothing to do with it. Mimi kama bachelor boy. No, nothing to do with it. But because I love you guys. Mtu kama Betty amecomplain hapa. So because of the love I have for you guys, you my parents, wazazi. Ndio maana niko hapa. Mimi bachelor boy. Okay, sawa. Kweli ni pesa sina ya kwanza familia. Hiyo ni excuse. Hiyo story excess hiyo ni excuse. Kweli ni pesa sina ya kwanza familia.
But yeah. PP, we are not parents, but we are also parents because we pay fee more than what we do with our money. So hata wewe unaweza kuwa bachelor lakini unalipa fee kulipa.
Yeah, lakini unajua hii si kama ile yenye unashikiwa kiuno unaambiwa baba boy mtoto ataenda shule aje. Unajua ingine unaweza sema sina pesa this time. But kama ni mzazi, there is no running away from it. I see we have somebody called Kipruto Oscar. How are you doing? Man from Tugen Hills. Jambo. Kama ananisikia anaitwa Oscar. Unmute your mic, Oscar. Jambo. Huyu ni kama amekuja kutujaribu. Huyu amekuja kutujaribu. Yeah, venye nimeona anatuona sisi kama ni yeah. Yeah, thank you so much for being here. Nimebaki na Japonjina Academy hapa hivi. Let me see what is happening on the comment section. Najua watu wawili watatu mpaka wameongelea. High Priest anasema can we address the sad state at Thika level 5 hospital? Wamatangi anafungia wamama for months juu ya bills za up to 90k at a public facility. Hatuna nchi. You can come and tell us what is happening, High Priestess, because bado sija follow up on that. Probably I'll have to check on that. But if you can come to the mic and tell us on that particular story, I'd be very keen and also ready to let you come to the mic. Yeah, some crazy things. Niliona juzi Nairobi Governor Ole Dimples alilipia watu wa mama karibu 12. Yeah. A hospital bill of worth 2.5 million. So why do we have to do that? Don't we? I thought we were working on SHA shifts so that we don't have a fundraising. Kuna mjamaa hapa hivi alikuwa anafanya fundraising last week ya 500,000. For health. Na anasema hiyo ni within 4 days. Bill imeaccrue to 500k. My lord. Health in Kenya is something else. And I think also DK Diamonds has been talking about so much about the importance of a good health system. Sijui kama unanipata. Anyway, Japonji, do you have anything to add on these particular conversations? Alafu pia mnaweza tuambia what else you have been seeing around here that you want to comment on as well. Jopunje.
Let me get back to it. Just give me a few minutes.
Okay, sawa. Naona pale Victor Oria pia kwa hapa hivi. Yeye pia anajua anakuanga na interest in education. You know, our education is everything. I don't know where we're headed, honestly. I'm waiting to see. Kila siku naona two new things. So inaona kabisa, you know, that was the most impressive thing I've seen. Mtu kabisa wanachora malaini wakati PS or education amefika. I was like, okay, thank you guys. You have like achieved the laws of what we call clowning. Umeachieve zile zetu the laws of kukua clown. Clown 101. Yes. I see the one and only Betty is back on the mic. Unajua sasa ndo najua nyinyi ni wazazi. Hapa hivi kwa hii club yetu ya bachelors tuko tu watatu. Mimi, myself and I.
Mimi ni bachelor boy, nitoa kutoka wapi? Na siku sasa zinapita, lo ireraena.
Kina Ismail tangu anifanye mpaka ni swear mbele ya watu kwa space kwamba mimi ni bachelor boy. Maisha imekuwa onyoe. Hakuna stress ya relationship drama hapa kwenu. Lo. Haya. Betty.
Nawe Pipita, I told you. Siku nishaona unatuma mtu wangu duka. It's okay, we are parents. Usiwe mtuma duka. Anyway, I wanted to speak.
I am a young active man. Naweza jituma duka.
Let me tell you, Pipita, enzi zinakuja hata ndio education itakuwa hard, and we'll be right here tukikuchekelea Pipita ukuwa na unabadilisha pampers. Pipita, hey, see your life. Anyway, let me say this. CBC, I guess the government is supposed to do away with the CBC. When my kid was in PP playgroup, alikuja siku moja akaniambia, unajua kwa playgroup wanakubalisha kubeba snacks, and she was like, Mom, there's a certain kid mwenye amekuja jabeba snack. And I was like, God. And the parent could only afford the school fees but could not afford a snack. And I was forced, nikia mtoto wangu two things, like nikimwekea a snack if it's milk, in a snack yenye nimemwekea na mwekea mbili, na mwambia Mom, if you go to that class upatie huyu mtoto leo ajabeba, mpatie hii na hii moja ni yako, and this is what you could do. Now this imeletwa na a certain person saying ati we should make the education system to be private. Some parents are really struggling out there because you see it's expensive. Every day kuna projects. Sijui mtengeneze bimba, sijui mtengeneze what, and all these zinabidi utoe kwa mfuko. And now my worry is to those kids in Takana, the reading committee in CBC, it's more of practical than, unajua enzi zetu it was more of theory than practical. Right now it's more practical than theory. Have the government thought of this before bringing the CBC system? I guess it's high time the government wakubali CBC may fail. We have no enough resources to embrace CBC, and they bring back the 844 until the government is ready for the CBC, until they have enough resources for the CBC. I guess this is what we're supposed to say. Until they have the enough resources for the CBC, it's when they'll tell us now we can bring CBC, because we are already in a crisis. Vitabu ni shida. Hey, kwanza, the more I talk, the more nakumbuka sina Kiswahili dadisi. If you have Kiswahili dadisi, Oxford, tafadhali inbox me. Tafadhali. Thank you.
Right. Betty, sijui kama nikupotea umemalizana na sisi. Naona Victor ako hapa hivi na unajua Betty unajua nisha realize Betty. There is a very bad presidents I'm noting from you that Ismail akitoa Kiswahili yake hapa una drop kwenda kwa listeners. So it's good you declare kama naona mtoto wako grade 2, hii ndo wakati ya kupata second born. So tumekumark. Kama unataka mtoto akipemba sema tu haraka tukusaidie. Wewe ni Mluya anakudanganya hapa na Kiswahili ya wahenga. Haya, jina yake ni Fwe. Oh.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Welcome. Home Run with Pippi.
Ndiposa tu. Haina shida. You're listening to Home Run with Pippi, ladies and gentlemen. It's 28 minutes past the top of the hour. Naona Victor Oriako hapa hivi. Unajua sasa ndo tumemwacha akilipa Twitter. Huyu ni kama hako anafanya ya kulipwa. Yeye alikuwa tu anataka kuona. Sisi wa analytics tumerealize wanatuibia. So tumebaki bila kulipia. How are you doing, Victor?
Niko salama Pipi. Haujaoa?
Mimi ni bachelor boy. Hujasikia jingle? Acha nichezee jingle yetu mpya ya Home Run. Sikia.
Mimi ni bachelor boy, nitoa kutoka wapi? Na siku sasa zinapita, lo ireraena.
So yeah, hiyo ndo intro. Yeah, that is how I am known. Hii mwaka ya urejesho.
Hii ndio hii mwaka wewe ni bado ni bachelor boy.
Staki mambo yenu.
Haujachoka kupika, haujachoka kukaa lonely. Ni saa 3 usiku na uko kwako peke yako, unaangalia ceiling, unatoka unaenda bedroom, unarudi, unaenda jikoni, unakaa kwa tafuta mtu wa kuongea na yeye usiku. Not necessarily kukupikia ama kukuoshea nguo ama sijui nini.
Ni married men
tafuta mtu wa kuongea na yeye.
Ni married men mnapendanga marketing sana. Sijui nani amekulipa pesa ya PR lakini naona inawaka. Cheki bro. Naongelesha watu kwa mtandao 6 hours a day. Do you think I have any more words left in me after nimemaliza show? All I want is to sleep. Ni watch cinema zangu.
Hapo unatafuta unga, lakini sasa unataka ya roho. You know there's actually a study that there's actually a study that has come out today that is looking at that lonely people have a higher chance of developing cancer than people who are obese or people who are physically inactive. And being lonely is equivalent to smoking 15 packs of cigarettes per day. That is what it does to you. Sasa tafuta mtu. Speki utuwache mapema.
Kama in my defense, naongelesha watu wengi kushinda nyinyi kwa sababu kama per day niko na speakers 20. Si hao nimeongelesha watu 20. Tumesha have heart to heart. Kwani ni heart to heart gani? Nikishaambia watu 3 Ruto must go, wengine niwaambie Murkomen is useless. Nasikia roho yangu imetulia, naongeza miaka yangu kidogo.
Okay. Yeah, so I don't know what you guys have been saying about hii mambo ya CBC na university funding model, but for me, I will start the year the way I ended the year. Yeah, Wakenya lazima sasa tuamke. Lazima tuamke na tusiamke tu kwa mambo ya abductions, tusiamke tu kwa mambo ya finance bill, tuamke collectively about everything that is happening in our country. And the easiest way to kill a people, they say, is to kill the education system. And whether it's CBC, whether 844, for me, that's not the point. That's really, really, really not the point. The point is, ukiangalia education system yetu imekuwa very useless. Useless in the sense that it feels like a pipeline. Unaingia point A na unatoka point B, and the only thing that you have to show ukiuliza mtu kama amesoma anakuambia wacha nikuonyeshe certificate zangu, unaona. So it feels like it's a race for acquiring certificates and certifications rather than a process of learning. Yeah, and that is what we need to go back to. We need to go back to ask ourselves what actually entails learning. What is learning? What do we want? And kuna time back, I think last year, PP, we also were talking about education system, and I said, we have to do two things. We have to detach education and learning from examination, and we have to detach education and learning from the job market. Those two are very different things. You don't need to go to university for 4 years or to learn for 20 plus years for you to be a teller at the bank. You can simply not do anything. You can simply even homeschool yourself, and then when you are 18, you start an internship at a bank and you become a teller. Yeah. So you don't need a university degree or a college degree for you to be a teller, for instance, or sijui kukua seremala ama sijui kuwa nini. Some of these things are things that you can do just by learning. After all, if you look at the Roman Empire, the Greek Empire, even the Ottoman Empire, apprenticeship was the way. If somebody wanted to be a seafarer, they would be on the boat with the current seafarer who learned it from someone, and they learn on the job. Unaona? So hiyo ndio kitu inafaa tu that's the first thing that we need to do first. We need to detach education, especially basic education. Basic education, I'm referring to primary, secondary, and your first degree. Ikuwe detached kabisa from the job market. And you see, it's no wonder these days you have engineers or you even have medical doctors. And let me use medicine, for instance, because I'm in that field. You have a medical doctor who, the way they tell a patient that you have cancer or you have diabetes or you have a deadly chronic disease, wanakwambia, my friend, unaenda kufa. It's not very polite, because I don't even know if there's a bit of even like learning the human aspects of how you deliver such messages to patients. It's the same reason why if an engineer is making a road, he makes a road for cars, but he doesn't think that there are pedestrians who walk, there are cyclists who cycle, and so on. So, na hiyo ndio shida. All these things, whether it's CBC or 844, for me, it doesn't really matter. And this is my personal opinion. It doesn't really matter. What matters is, why are we learning? Why are we learning? Leo tumekuwa na a very heated discussion with some friends of mine, and I was asking them, they have kids. Mimi bado sina watoto. So I was asking them, you guys have kids who are already in like grade 7, grade 8, wengine wako high school. Do they know about Tom Mboya, Gama Pinto, Robert Ouko, Alexander Muge? And so they just started asking their kids, have you ever heard of these people? No, they've never heard of people like those. Yet that is part of our core history in Kenya. If you ask them even to tell you what the Mau Mau did, ama hata Mekatilili wa Menza, such kind of things, and I'm using history here as an example, unapata people who are going to school now hajui vitu kama hizo. Basi ni nini wanasoma? What are they studying in school? Yeah. So we need a complete overhaul. Now, kitu ya kwanza ni do away with this centralized education system where things are managed from Nairobi. Do away with it. Because you were saying here rightly, PP, that Belio Kipsang was at a school talking about, oh, we'll have classrooms ready. Na kuna architect hapo ndio sasa na contractor hapo anamwaga ile choka ya kuchimba foundation. It's a whole lot of nonsense. Yet, how much money do we give the Ministry of Education every year? It's almost 500, 600 billion a year that tunawapatia. Yeah. So this thing should be decentralized. Decentralize it. Wacha Kisumu County will decide on their curriculum. Yeah. I was in the village in December and I was talking to some students in the primary school. Na wauliza, mmefika hata kwa show ya lake? Ati hatuna time. Kwa sababu wanaenda shule at 5 a.m. wanatoka shule saa 1 jioni. Nini wanasoma? Yeah? What is it that you are studying that you cannot go even to a lake that is just 2 kilometers from where you live? Kuona tu Lake Victoria uiguze tu hata na maji. Kuna watoto wamezaliwa na hawajawahi guza hata maji ya Lake Victoria hivi na mkono. And they live next to the lake. Reason, wanaenda shule 5 in the morning na wanarudi jioni 7 p.m. Ni nini wanasoma? Kids who live in the village where there are cows, there are goats, there are chicken, they don't even know how to milk a cow. Yeah? Then what is it that you are learning? Yeah? Even just taking a goat na uende uifunge mahali ikule nyasi, ishibe, saa 7 urudi uipatie maji. Then what sort of skills are we? Are we kwani sisi hapa hata tukua tunadanganya that everybody will work for a blue chip company? How many of us here are working for a blue chip company? Una? very few of us are working for blue chip companies. In fact, most of us, we are toiling much harder than when we were even tukisoma. So for me, my personal opinion is the whole system should be overhauled. Saizi tuko na counties. Let every county decide on how their children are going to learn. It becomes easier to then manage these things. If I'm from Kisumu County, I will make sure that I try teaching my students about even the Great Lakes region, how that lake system in that part of the world has boosted the economic potential of that place. Yeah, tuanze kusoma about cities like Chicago, Detroit, Toronto, Madison that grew up along the lake. Sisi hii Kisumu yetu inakaa Kisumu, ni Kisumu bado ya 1901. Yeah, wanasema ati siku hizi tuko na kameli kanatoka hapo, but bado tu ni ile 1901. There is nothing major happening, yet this is the second biggest lake in the world. And the same can be said of other small lakes that we have in the country. Ukienda Lake Turkana, that is the biggest desert lake we have in the world. The biggest desert lake we have in the world. It should be a place that full of resorts and name it. But hatufikiri vitu kama hizo kwa sababu kila mtu anataka kufanya kazi kwa ofisi ana sign checks. That is what our education is telling us. Yeah. So there is a need for complete overhaul. People should critical thinking. Hata leo tu nilikuwa again in that group of friends of mine tulikuwa tunaongea. Saizi and I would say in my position I get lots of application letters from people who are interested in my line of work. My friend, ukisoma tu application letter unasema sasa huyu aliandika kama amelewa ama aliandika kama amekunywa kahawa ama alitoa tu hii kitu mahali aka copy paste. You cannot tell the difference between all those three things. So tukiongea ukasema you know right now we live in the AI era and you just need to showcase your skills. How will you showcase your skills to me if I don't know you? So the first thing is writing me an email or writing me an introductory letter. Sisemi lazima ikue 100% perfect, but it should be professional. It should be like, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I hold, or this is what I've done in my life, and so on and so forth. So that's why I'm going back to how I started. Our education is a pipeline. It is a pipeline. Ndio maana unapata universities are offering catering and tourism management. Hizo ni course. Ndio maana unapata universities are offering sijui certificate courses. When ideally ukiangalia hata universities in their essence kutoka kitambo, universities were meant to be academies of thought, academies of thinking, places where new knowledge and new ideas would emerge. And that is also what should inform the school system uko chini. Some of you, I know you have nephews who were born with a silver spoon in their mouth. They've never seen a pit latrine. Take them once uko Ocha, uwapeleke kwa pit latrine, waulize hii ni nini, uone watakwambia ni nini. We have even hii juzi nimekuwa nyumbani hapa, I saw a son of a relative. Wamekuja nyumbani, baba yes anafanya kazi mzuri Nairobi, wanaishi Nairobi in a very palatial place, but nyumbani hawana nyumba. Sasa mtoto amelemewa, anapelekwa pit latrine, amekataa. Nikakuja kupigiwa mlango saa 3 usiku. Tek nauliza hii mvua yote ni nini?